Hello, I'm R. Kishore Kanna, Assistant Professor, Department of Biomedical Engineering, School of Bioengineering from Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. In this video, I am here to give lecture on neural model and pattern recognition application from the course name called Neural Networks and Pattern Recognition. Neuron model is a model which will be handling or which will be constructed and developed to enhance the working of neurons. Neuron is a processing unit. That processing process will be enabled and disabled inside a model that is called as neuron model. So neuron model will be recording, monitoring, analyzing, and making the process of neurons to be enabled and disabled will be decided in by the neuron model. So neuron model is being constructed and developed to monitor, to analyze, to record, to detect the activity of neurons inside a modeling design. That is known as neuron model. And in this PPT, we will be seeing what are the application and where and on pattern recognition methodology or pattern recognition working principle is being used wisely for the identification, description, detection, and providing the secure for enhancing the model to be working with the classification and identification process without any error. So first initially we will be seeing about the neuron, how it is being constructed and how it is being made as a neuron model and the working of neuron model with the application of pattern recognition. Neuron model. As I say, neuron is the simple processing unit which will be processing the given input data and it will be processing and producing the information to the network and it will be receiving the response which is being given from the network to the human brain. So processing of the information and receiving the response is the ultimate function of the neurons. So neurons is being considered as simple processing unit, and the sole purpose of neurons is to receive the electrical signals and accumulate them and see whether they are strong enough to pass further. That means neurons will be receiving the information or receiving the response from human brain as well as the human body. When the electrical signal which is being received or transmitted will be accumulated and they will be processed, and neurons will be make sure the signal or electrical signal which is being received, which yet to be transmitted, should be strong for passing it to the network. So this is the actual purpose of neurons activity. That means it will be receiving the electrical signals. That signals will be analyzed and verified and it will be accumulated and it will be made strong whether it can pass from one neurons to another neurons for the network connectivity. And single neuron is useless. This process cannot be done by a single neuron. A process of connectivity, a process of conveying the information or processing the information can be done by connectivity of multiple neurons as a single network, that is known as neural network. So single neuron is being considered to be a useless, and it is the complex connection where multiple number of weights or multiple number of neurons will be made together as a connected network, and it has the ability to think, analyze, process, and to sense the consciousness, that is known as neuron model. So neuron model means connectivity of neurons as a single large structure for thinking, for processing, for monitoring, for analyzing, to have a sense of consciousness. This is known as neuron model. Okay, neuron consists of inputs, output, and weight. Inputs is being determined as synapses in structure of neuron, and weights is being considered as a dendrites, and output is being considered as the axon part. So what is known as synapses is synapses will be getting the input signal, so that is considered as the inputs. And weights is being termed to be dendrites, where it will be providing the importance for the incoming signal which is being received by the synapses called input. Then output is known as axon, where the processed signal will be shifted or transmitted from one neuron to another neuron, that is known as axon. So here in this structure is being expressed as a McCulloch-Spitz model. McCulloch-Spitz model is used to explain the simple construction of a neuron model. X1, X2, Xn are the inputs which is being given to the input layer. Here W1, W2, Wn will be considered as a weights, which is known as dendrites parts, which will be receiving the given input data from the synapses, and it will be aligning the incoming value according to the needs and demands of that input, and it will be given to the neuron. That neuron will be processing, and the output will be produced by the axon. Once the output is being produced, it will be transmitted to the another neurons and to form a neural network. So this is the neurons parts which is being enhanced as a complete large network. And output which is being produced by the neurons is being calculated by the inputs which is being multiplied or processed or analyzed by the weights, and it will be computed by some mathematical functional derivations, and which will be determining the activation of neurons to be processed. So this is known as output will be calculated by input, and it will be multiplied by hidden layer called weights, and it will be processed by some mathematical formulation formulas, and it will be produced as the output to determine the activation of another neuron. This is known as output. And activation function is being expressed z is equal to summation of I1 is equal to n, wi which is known as weight, xi which is known as the input, and y will be considered as output is equal to h of z, which will be known as the activation function of that neuron. So inside a neuron model, there will be input, weights, output. Input will be receiving the or acquiring the given information data, and hidden layer or dendrites or weights will be considered as a processing unit, where the output acquired input will be aligned for the processing, and output will be the place where the input which has been acquired will be calculated and will be multiplied by the weights, and it will be processing the output to activate other neurons by a mathematical function. That activation function derivation or a formula is being given here. By this activation function formula only, activation of neuron is being carried out by the output layer part of the neuron. And for example, output when single perceptron neuron is being used, that means dark blue dots which is being seen in this structure will be representing the value of the true, and light blue dots, this is light blue dot which is will be representing the value of false. So if a potential is being given, if a single perceptron, that means single neuron is being used by the output, uh, the variation between the output and input will be varied according to the dots, dark blue for true and light blue for the false. So by processing a model, when there any simulation is there, it will be mentioned in dark blue. When there is no simulation or false simulation is there, it will be derived by the light blue dots. And this will be considered as when the neuron is being processed with two perceptron, and this is for single perceptron and this is for double perceptron. That means two neuron is being used in the output. Means blue dots will be same for true value, and light blue will be for false value, and you will be seeing the linear and non-linear data sets. Non-linear data set means a data set which is being lies between both input as well as output. In between input output, a data set is being aligned, means that is known as non-linearable separable data set. When multiple neurons or multiple perceptrons is being induced in a single neuron, it will be having some non-linearable separable data set. So this is known as neuron model. Inside the neuron model, we have seen about neurons, what is neuron, what is function of neurons, what are the parts of neurons, and then what are the function of parts inside the neurons, and working principle and perceptron activation inside the neuron model. So these are the process happening inside a neuron model, where the input is been taken, analyzed by the hidden layer or dendrites or weights, and processed by the output for the activation of next neuron which is being connected with the neural network. This is known as neuron model. Next topic we are going to see about the application of pattern recognition. In previous video itself we have seen about what is pattern, what in set of pattern classes, what is pattern recognition system, and function of pattern recognition system, and what are the process happening inside the pattern recognition system. Now we are going to see where and all that pattern recognition system principle, working principle called PPP, is being used in multiple various industries. Application of pattern recognition is being widely used in many industries for their adaptability, for their linearity, and for their accuracy. It is being widely used in biomedical domain, where and all medical imaging, where and all medical signal processing or biosignal processing is being applied and it is being used. There will be some pattern recognition principle system will be used for making the process to be reliable, accurate, and proper, and to avoid errors happening inside the processing unit. So pattern recognition is being widely used in many applications to make the process to be simple. To make the process to be simple, pattern recognition is being widely used. In biomedical domain, it is being used in CAD called computer aided diagnosis. There and all, imaging or signal processing is being used for acquiring or diagnosing a defect in human body is known as CAD. By using a computer and mission is being enhanced, which is used for imaging, for diagnosis of human body or diagnosing of defects in human body is known as CAD. So CAD means computer aided diagnosis. This computer aided diagnosis is being completely enhanced and combined by the pattern recognition application. And by using the CAD structural model analysis, statistical model analysis of pattern recognition, CAD has been constructed and used to be more reliable component for pattern recognition application, and it has been widely used for industries, for medical applications, for chemical applications and trials, and for aero and aeronautical industries, for genetical industries, for genetical applications also. This pattern recognition is being widely used by using this CAD, computer aided design. Before we are going for a modeling a design, before we are constructing a model, we have to imaginarily we have to develop that model design and work with model design by using this CAD, computer aided design. Whether it can be successful, whether it can be functionable, can be predicted by using this CAD by the application of pattern recognition. Next one is our daily usage, setting a pattern for enabling or for using a module with with some structure observation or with some set of sequences known as password setting. So setting a pattern or setting a password or setting a key code for entering or for enabling the model to be used is known as pattern recognition application. So in our laptops, in our tabs, in our mobile phones, we will be putting some patterns or passwords to use that mobile, to have the privacy of that user. So this process has been combined and extracted from the artificial intelligence branch of pattern recognition. Pattern recognition is being used in any area of science as well as in engineering that study the structure of observation. So where and all technology is being in advancement, where and all engineering ideas and aspects is being induced in a system or in a design or in a model, pattern recognition application is being widely used to make it simple and to make it accurate to produce the output without any error. To avoid errors, to enhance the adaptability, this pattern recognition is being used in engineering aspects and engineering ideas for the structure observation for the enhancement of advancement. It is now frequently used in many applications like manufacturing industry, healthcare, and military, where and all secure and privacy is plays a vital role. This pattern recognition, this setting a password or setting a gateway to pass through or to enable a model to be used, this pattern recognition is being used in military to keep the secrets and to keep the uh, exact status or exact security level of the nation. They have designed some module which through where the vital important data of the army or military can be enhanced or can be secured by a module. For that developing that module, pattern recognition application is being used for healthcare. Basically patient's status, patient's detail, patient's health record should be secured, and it is being considered as a rule and government policy that each patient's health status should be preserved, secured, and it should not be released or conveyed to others without any official information from the government. So for securing the health records of patients, they are having some module. In that module, all health records of the patients will be loaded and it will be secured without any leakage or without any spread. They will be secured properly. For that process also, our pattern recognition application is being used. And manufacture industries with core ideas and industry with basic designs and development, R&D, research and development. Every part of industries with their own designs should be secured without any leakage or without any to avoid the spread or to avoid the leakage. They will be having some module which is being used to secure the data of the industries, and it will be constructed by using the pattern recognition application. And character recognition, where and all process yet to be done, whether the user is using or whether a robot is using a process or function in the digital world, character recognition will be acting as a module or acting as a gateway to check whether the concerned person is a user, concerned user is a person or a robot. They will be checking by using this character recognition. And this character recognition also comes under the pattern recognition from the model of template matching. From model of template matching, from model of statistical modeling, it will be coming for the character recognition in pattern recognition application. Input will be the image with characters without image means without any noise or without any sounds. Image will be acquired as an input. Output will be, it will be matched with the reference data, and it also comes under the template matching. Output will be produced by using the template matching model, and it will be useful for the ALPR, automatic license plate recognition, optical character recognition, OCR. Why? Because if you can't track or you can't recognize a user with their vehicle and all, you can extract you can't load the details of a user of a car or a module or what to say, you can't elaborately have the details on their working module, but with their code or with their key numbers or with their registered numbers you can extract the details of that user. So for that purpose, character recognition is being used to identify the exact information of the user. After character recognition, characterization comes. Input will be document and web pages or the textual format of documents will be loaded as input. Output will be the category of the text such as a political, economical, military, sports, etc. In many categories, it will be producing the output according to the needs and demands of the system. And what is the useful scenario of this system is information can be retrieved, whether it is being erased also, information can be retrieved and the documents which is being processed can be aligned according to the process and it will be stored in the memory. These are the working pattern of text characterization from the application of pattern recognition. It is widely used in every laptops and computers to secure that document. Speech recognition. So speech recognition is known as otherwise known as voice recognition. Recognizing the user by their voice, vocal sound is known as speech or voice recognition. Input will be the acoustic signal which will be in the form of sound waves and output will be the content of the speech, their parameter of the vocal with their sound, with their bass, with their volume. That signal which is being considered as a reference will be matched and they will be allowed to enable the module when the voice which is being taken as the input matches the reference and the output will be produced and they can use that module with the secure processing gateway. Usefulness is scenarios such as STT, speech to text. When you give the speech, you can't no need to note or write. Speech will be turned as the text and it will be recorded in the computer. And for voice command and for controlling voice or controlling module, this speech recognition is been widely used. People who has the ability to give lecture and write, they will be using this. Who has the need for giving the lecture to be noted or written, they will be using the speech recognition. Speech recognition will be acquiring the signal of sound signal will be acquired and it will be converted into text and it will be noted in the system. For this purpose and all, the speech recognition will be used and it is a part of a pattern recognition application. And this is the methodology which has been widely used. And nowadays, electronic or electrical gadget which is being used by the each user will be enabled by as a basic requirement or component of that module is fingerprint recognition. Each and every module is been composed with this feature called fingerprint recognition to identify the person whether the user is being uh, whether the user is correct or mismatching will be identified easily in short time period is the methodology called fingerprint recognition. Input will be the fingerprint of some person which is being loaded as the user in that module. Output will be the when that fingerprint which is being kept in the biometric system or a biometric sensor will be sensing the fingerprint image. When it is being getting matched with the reference in a fingerprint image, it can be accessible. When it is not matching, it can't be used by that external user or a user who are not related to that module. Usefulness in this scenario is it is used for computer access control, criminal pursuit, etc. And it is easier, simple, and secure when it's been compared with other recognition process. So each and every module nowadays in each and every electronic component gadgets like mobiles, tab, laptops, everything is being composed with this fingerprint recognition. Nowadays, people are using biometric system for entry and exit point in offices, in working place. They are using fingerprint recognition as a entry point and exit point key for their arrival and dis- dispatch. Signature recognition. So next recognition methodology is signature recognition, where the signature or sequence of written data or dots or line will be considered as the signature of person. Output will be signature which is been considered as a reference data will be matched with the input of signature data. When it is matches, it will be verified whether the if it is matches, they will be verified as the certified user. If it is not matches, they will be declined for the usage of module. And it is being used for digital signal signature verification in documents, in government documents, or in official documents and all. It is being very well used, and it is being used mainly for credit card anti-fraud methodologies to avoid the usage of credit card by other person. Signature recognition is being widely used, they are saying. And face detection, every mobile phones nowadays is being composed with this face detection. Fingerprint recognition's advancement is being considered as the face detection for accessing a module or for accessing a electronic component like mobiles. The face of the user will be detected by the face detection. Input will be the images of several people, and output will be the location of the people's face in that image. Image is being loaded as a input or a verified module or a template. Their structure will be considered as the parameters to be matched and verified to make the user to be accessing the module. An application of pattern recognition, it is used for detection and diagnosis of disease in biomedical domain, where and all people are using imaging for detecting and diagnosing any kind of defects, disease, or any kind of mislocation of human anatomy. This pattern recognition has been widely used for ECG waveform, which has sent inputs and types of cardiac condition of the patient, and the classes of EEG brain condition also will be accordingly verified by using this pattern recognition. Pattern recognition is used for medical imaging. It is being used widely in ECG as well as it is being widely used in EEG. Whether the processing, whether the status of human is being normal or abnormal can be verified by using the application of pattern recognition. And it is great to use in paramedical industry, and it makes the simple to identify whether the human is normal condition or in abnormal condition. Application of pattern recognition is being used in transform marketing sector also. Facial recognition simulation has been widely used by macOS or virtual products like without going to a shop or a makeup store. We can use this pattern recognition simulation by checking their skin tone, checking their product color, which is being suits to their face. So these are the advancement which is being made possible by the pattern recognition. And facial detection and simulation is letting consumer interact with beauty products and brand on one more level, personal level. So advances is being made at nowadays. You no need to go to a shop and have a trial and to purchase. You from home by using this pattern recognition modules, you can try the makeover in the virtual reality and you can directly purchase the product. These are the advancement made in the society by using the pattern recognition application. And problem input output of the pattern recognition application, problems where and all it is being used: detection and diagnosis of disease, for example ECG and EEG waves. And output will be finding the cardiac condition and the brain wave condition of the human body. And problems, natural resource identification. Problems are is being composed, each problems is being composed with each application domain. So detection and diagnosis of disease from biomedical. Next one is natural resource identification. For example, multiple spectral image has been given as the input. It will be terrain forms and vegetation will be covered. For mapping, for geographical application, this natural resource identification is being using the pattern recognition to deter the terrain forms and vegetation covers on the mapping process. And radial resonance for input like visual, infrared, radar images to produce wire and all tanks and airfields is being located. It is being used in aerospace or aeronautical field application. And identification of counting of cells. For example, slides of blood sample is being given as an input with the microsection of tissue, and it will be verifying what kind of tissue or what kind of blood sample will be identified, and what kind of type of cell is being located in the given input can be identified by using the pattern recognition. And just this application is from genetic engineering as well as in biotechnology engineering. Inspection like PC boards, IC marks, and textile, where the inspection or internal inspection can be verified by using the pattern recognition. Scanned image which is being visible or infrared will be given, and output it will be checking the whole system. When it has been true, it will be accepting. When it is false, it will not be accepting and it will be considered as unacceptable texture. And manufacturing, and manufacturing industry purpose also it is being used. For example, 3D image, three-dimensional image with a composition of a light structure, light laser stereo is being given. It is used to identify the object post assembly by using the application of pattern recognition by using several kind of models in pattern recognition. And for example, web change, Google is being composed by using pattern recognition. How many members know that pattern recognition is being used for a Google search engine? By a single keyword, you can find the text relevant of the user, which is being searched by the Google search engine. So Google, which has been ruling the world for knowing or to upgrading their knowledge, is being completely composed of the artificial intelligence from the application of pattern recognition. So these are the application where pattern recognition is being widely used for the problems and inputs and output which is being produced by the pattern recognition is being determined. So conclusion, using template matching, statistical method, and neural networks, which is known as ANN, artificial neural network, and synaptic methods, identification and detection processing is being done without any error. This is known as conclusion of application of pattern recognition system. Future works will be for frequency domain, image compression method. Large amount of size can be compressed without any data loss. Video based face recognition, from a video we can identify the personal information of that user. Adding color factor for face recognition, texture for improving the quality of image while the video transaction or a video transmission or a video calling is being done. These are the future works is yet to be done in the pattern recognition. So these are the vast application and vast areas where the pattern recognition is being widely used. Thank you.